Have you ever wondered what happens when you live with a rounded back? As a physiotherapy student, I always hear lecturers and clinical instructors telling me, don't round your back, keep a good posture when you lift, and stuff along those lines. I mean, it's common sense, right? You can even go on Google and find articles and images saying the same thing. But is this even true? So I took a deep dive into the available evidence, and this is what I found. This idea was actually first supported by this 2001 research, where they took the spine of a dead pig, added compressive force, bent it at 36 to 84,000 times at 35-degree max flexion, and noticed a herniated disc after. They then concluded that bending the spine under load or compression would damage the discs and spine. But there are a couple of things that's wrong with this conclusion. Number one is that dead tissues don't adapt. It's not a living pig. Number two is that pigs are not bipedal animals. Their spines cannot handle compressive loads like humans can. Okay, but just to be safe, can we keep our back straight when lifting? Now, there are a couple of studies that look at spinal motion when people are lifting, so let's take a look at those. So this study took 17 powerlifters and instructed them to squat and deadlift 85% of their 1 rep max. Now, they found that when they were squatting and deadlifting, their lumbar spines actually rounded 65 to 80% of max flexion. These findings are also consistent with other studies that show that you bend your back at around 27 degrees when doing a kettlebell swing or a good morning exercise. Now, in these two studies, the participants were instructed to arch their back as much as possible when lifting, and this is what they found. Even if you try to keep your back as arched as possible, your spine still bends under load. Okay, so that was a lot of information, but what does this actually mean? Now, what this means is that spinal flexion is unavoidable even if you arch your back, and the spine bends even when it's not observable to the naked eye. Now, I will need to talk about this in two parts because there is a lot to talk about, but the next video I'll talk about if spinal discs do adapt, if lifting is safe for the lower back, if not, what are the injury rates of lifting.